All right, it begins. Ladies and gentlemen, it begins in 3, 2, 1. Tonight on TMSPM, U2 was nearly in some big trouble.
Duck Dynasty, the musical?
Worst idea ever. Brook Shields lost her virginity to Superman.
Boy George is late to the party.
Dan, the board game man.
Your questions and more on this episode of TMSPM.
This is the morning stream, but it's not in the morning, it's at night. PM.
All right, welcome to the morning stream PM edition, everybody. TMSPM for short. It's an acronym. It's initialism, right?
It's an initialism.
All right,
correct.
Get that freaking straight, I guess. It is Thursday evening, November 13th, 2014, the Thursday edition that we put together because you guys have supported us as patrons at the patreon.com/TMS page. If you go do that, then it goes a long way to help the show do super cool stuff like have a 5th episode per week. I'm Scott Johnson. Brian is in L.A.
I am in Los Angeles. I am 15 rows of cars away from the runways at Los Angeles International Airport.
Oh, weird.
From my window, I can actually see, I can watch the planes come in and land and taxi and all that stuff.
Is it like an airport Hilton? Is that the deal or what?
It's an airport Hyatt.
Oh,
yeah,
you're a big
exactly
Hyatt guy. I forgot.
Well, no, actually, usually I'm a big Hilton guy, honestly.
Big Hilton guy.
But the company that brought me here is paying for the hotel, so I let them pick where they wanted to put me.
Well, all right. Who's going to argue with that? Nobody. That's who.
Not me. Yes.
Well, it's just a reminder to people. Seriously, went from last Thursday. You flew. Sorry, Wednesday? No, Thursday morning, right? Thursday morning, flew to Anaheim, which is basically L.A. Well, you flew to LAX, right?
No, flew to Anaheim. Flew to Santa Ana.
Oh, okay, very nice. We went to John Wayne International.
Yeah, that's the same airport.
One?
Orange County, Anaheim, Santa Ana, all the same thing.
Oh, okay. I thought they were different because you can go to Ontario, which is
that is a different airport.
Yeah, and that's a poo stain. I don't like that place.
That's why the abbreviation for John Wayne International Airport is SNA for Santa Ana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was for impacted fecal matter for John Wayne or whatever.
was that an issue for him?
It was. It's apparently been disproved, but there was an old urban legend that when he died, they extracted like a 40-foot impacted turd because he ate too much steak or something.
You know what's funny? That reminds me of a story.
Oh, good.
That I forgot to tell on TMS. I'm glad that you mentioned that because
good.
So Tristan and I landed at John Wayne International Airport last week.
Yeah.
And we're getting off the plane down the jetway.
Great airport, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. Love the
airport.
Really
nice, really clean. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really nice airport. And on the jetway, they actually have a little sign that says, "Welcome to John Wayne International Airport." And I look over at Tristan and I say, and he's 17. Look over at Tristan and say, "Do you know who John Wayne was?" And he says, "Well, the name's familiar. Wasn't he a pilgrim?" And it took me a second to think about it. And then I started busting out laughing, and he had no idea why.
Now that I think about it, you did tell me this in Anaheim, but we haven't told the audience. That is a great story.
It is.
Public school, dude. That's what they're teaching our kids.
And for those of you who don't get the connection, that's because John Wayne used to always say, "Well, listen up, pilgrim.
Listen here, pilgrim. You can't take my guns out of my dead cold hand, pilgrim." Like that. Except not like that.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a great thing. The future generations. My kids do this all the time. It'll be something like, "Hey kids, who was Nikola Tesla?" And they'll say, "A famous female dancer in the 1920s or something." They just don't know. I swear, school. What did school teach them? I don't know what they taught them. They
obviously don't teach them who John Wayne or Nikola Tesla is.
Clearly, but they know plenty about why Kim Kardashian's famous. Like what are we doing? Like we gotta knuckle down. Hey, look, we're not gonna solve public education right here on the show tonight. We may as well just move on with a bunch of silliness and stupid crap. Later on, Dan, the game board man, game board man, will be here to talk about some recommendations. Also, we'll be answering your questions.
He's a board gay man. What?
He's a board gay man. Oh my gosh! The other day, Carter so embarrassed because we were in the kitchen. How did she say? She left. I gotta remember this. She said, How did it go? Some black man. Black. I can't remember it now. It was really embarrassing, and she'd probably be glad I don't remember it. You know what? I'll save it for Monday because I got to find out what it was. It was really, really funny.
All right.
Anyway, what was it? Dark? No, black, gay. I can't remember, but she was super embarrassed. Anyway, hey, Brian, you're from Colorado.
I am from Colorado.
I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah, which is right next to Colorado.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We kind of touch a little bit there. We got a little touching going on. And we're going to talk about, real quick here at the top of the show, what our state's fiercest rivals are, and therefore what other states' fiercest rivals are. And I haven't even looked at this, so I don't even know what state is our fiercest rival. So if you belong to Colorado, if you belong there.
And specifically talking sports, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It says... I think it's just like straight up, hey, what state's like the most like, we hate those guys or whatever.
Really?
That kind of thing. Yeah.
That's okay. All right. Well, I can't wait to find out who we hate.
All right. So let's start with Alabama. We'll get to ours in a second. Okay. Alabama, which state is your fiercest rival? So the options are Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Tennessee, or we get along with everyone, or other. Which do you think it is?
I would guess Alabama and Mississippi don't get along.
All right. We're going to choose.
Because they're back to back when you look at their states.
Alabama, Mississippi. Here we go. Alabama. Turns out you are correct. 35% Mississippi. And this is from this data is from people who voted.
Like a poll.
Yeah, it's a poll. It's like a poll. Ew, gross. Okay. There's an article here that says this is what popping a 20-year-old zit looks like. We may have to get to that in a minute. 35% Mississippi, second Georgia, and in a third place Florida. So there's your answers there. Alaska, let's do Alaska. Washington, Hawaii, we get along with everyone or other.
I would guess that they get along with everyone.
All right. That is incorrect. The top answer is Hawaii with 43%.
Really? Just because Hawaii probably came in afterwards, or like, just because they're both non-continentals, like, I hate you, you're all warm.
You're a bastard. You're all warm. You're all warm. You don't stink like fish. What the hell? You were right, though, in second place, 29% with we get along with everyone. Okay. All right, we're getting to some of our states here. We're going to do Arizona next. Who's the fiercest competitor? California, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, or we get along with everyone?
Arizona. Probably California.
All right. I have a feeling it's Nevada, but I'm going to click it. Oh, okay. You're in second place again. New Mexico, apparently.
Oh, yeah, well, New Mexico. Jeez, of course.
Those bastards. Goes New Mexico, California, Nevada, and then everything else is super low. All right, let's skip down to where you are right now, California.
Okay.
Is it Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, or we get along with everyone?
Man, it seems like, let's say Nevada, because, California kind of wraps a little bit around Nevada. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's a little bit of rivalry from, protection and shielding.
It's a fair question. I would have done the same. It turns out the answer, according to most poll recipients, 27%. We get along with everyone.
Okay.
I don't know if I believe that. 24% is other. So I would say maybe New York or something, like East Coast, West Coast rivalry.
That kind of thing. Yeah. See, that I could see.
Yeah. Then we got Oregon, Nevada, and then Arizona. All right. We are now to Colorado. Everyone hold on to your butts. Who is your fiercest rival? Kansas, Nebraska, New Mexico, Utah, Wyoming, or we get along with everyone?
God, it's funny because, when you think sports, you think Oakland Raiders, you think Kansas City Chiefs. Mm-hmm. As far as like neighboring states that we're rivals with, maybe Nebraska, but it would be like Cornhuskers versus the Buffaloes.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll say Nebraska.
All right. Oh my gosh, delightfully, Nebraska's only 11%, so not there. In fact, they're in third to last place. Number one, Utah, 29%. Oh, really? Why? Why would that be? That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wyoming.
Well, we have to see if Utah then says the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, then now's the big moment. We're going to skip down to Utah.
Okay.
There we go. They do it for every state, but I just wanted a sampling here.
Yeah.
Here we go. Utah. Whoops, that's Wyoming. Why isn't Utah in here? There it is. Arizona, Colorado, Idaho, Nevada, Wyoming, or we get along with everyone. I will say Colorado just to see.
Yeah.
Because I can't I feel like we kind of have a thing with Arizona. You know what? I'll choose the one I think. Arizona.
Okay. Yeah, choose the one you think.
Colorado, 38%.
Whoa, that's huge.
That's ginormous.
That's been the biggest rivalry number we've seen, hasn't it?
Yeah, third to last Arizona. I wasn't even close. Are we really? I don't think we're really rivals. Maybe you and I have softened it up a bit. I don't know. We've done.
Yeah,
our
that
part.
seems odd. I mean, what would Colorado and Utah have to argue about?
Nothing.
My mountains. No, these are my mountains.
These mountains are way better than me.
Radio today is different. Powerful networks span the nation from coast to coast. Shortwave radio girdles the globe.
It's the evening news, and it's brought to you by
Robots, artificial intelligence, unique characters, as well as post-singularity speculation. These are the ingredients of The Life Engineered, a sci-fi novel by J.F. Dubow. Go to jfdubow.com/books for a preview. The full novel will be released for free on November 18th on Amazon. That's jfdubeau.com/books.
U2's Bono faced a near-death experience after the door of a private jet flew off during a mid-air flight to Berlin.
Oh, God.
Shoink.
So it downloaded the door without his permission?
Exactly. Exactly. Somebody yelled from the back, always bet on black. No, that didn't happen. Passenger 57, in fact. Let's see. Frontman Bono, we hope he hasn't put off flying following his scary ordeal he faced during a flight to Berlin, where he saw the rear hatch of his aircraft dispatch itself midair on Wednesday. Bono, real name Paul Hewson, did not know that till just now.
Oh, really?
Nope, had no idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he actually got his name, or took his stage name from a billboard he saw, which was a hearing aid company called Bono Vox, Good Voice.
Oh, weird. All right.
Italian, I guess, or something.
All right, well, Paul Hewson there was up in a plane there, and he had 4 other passengers on this plane. I guess it would have been this is according to Germaut Freitag, an official with the German Federal Bureau of Aircraft Accident Investigation. Band was scheduled to perform perform that night of the 13th at the Bambi Awards, where they award excellence in deer or whatever.
Sure, and hunters and
rabbits that talk and stuff. Germany's version of the Emmys. Oh, well, I could have read on. Fortunately for the rest of the group, they were all traveling separately. Yeah, I guess fortunately. Why would you know what? When a band is so big they can all travel separately, that means you're too big. That means you're enormous.
They could have been coming from different places. I mean,
you think it means they hate each other?
No.
Okay.
I mean, Bono was probably doing some sort of humanitarian work somewhere, and it says, "Hey, I'll catch up with you guys at the Bambi Awards. I'll see you there
later. Who took my collection of glasses? I can't find all 20 of the pairs." And they're just saying, "Shut up, F you arse face. I'm taking a different plane."
Oh, my scarf got caught in the door of the plane. I'll just leave it. I'll go sit in my seat.
There's a reason.
Oh my God! There's a big suck coming. It's gonna suck out you too.
There's a reason I wear this stupid hat. I'm sick of you. It's blocking out your brain waves. I want them to fight for some reason. Anyway, the door went. Suitcases had flown out. Some other stuff had happened through the door, but he was fine. Everything worked out.
That's good.
Duck Dynasty there. The Duck Dynasty with the rednecks and the whatnot.
Yeah.
They're doing a musical. It's going to be in Las Vegas, of course, at one of your favorite casinos, the Rio Hotel and Casino.
That's not one of my favorite casinos.
Oh, I thought it was. No?
Oh, no.
Oh, well, I know MGM's the big one, but I thought for some reason you had a Rio thing going.
No, the only thing I really like about the Rio is there's a great dim sum place there that I try and go to every August. Other than that, I mean, it's off strip. It's a pain in the butt to get to.
True.
The only entertainment options are,
I guess,
a big
Penn and
flying
Teller,
thing in the sky deal. Yeah.
They got Penn and Teller, and they got there's some decent convention space, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's where the Star Trek convention was.
Yeah, that's true. They're doing the Duck Commander Family Musical. It's a play. It will portray the rise of the family's fame that Willie and Corey Robinson wrote about in their 2012 book, The Duck Commander Family, How Faith Family and Ducks Built a Dynasty. It'll debut there in February. Let's see. It's pretty disgusting. Oh, says the LGBT community. Somebody's talking about this, saying they're not happy with it. It's disgusting. It will be a reminder that Broadway is mostly about making entertainment today, not art. Even if it means getting involved with a family whose members say things that offend a lot of people working on Broadway, producer Emmanuel Azenberg told The Times.
Wow.
Who gives a shite? I'm not going to go see it.
I'm really actually surprised that it's at the Rio and not at the Hooters Casino, right? Because doesn't it seem like it'd be the perfect fit for the Hooters Casino?
Yeah, yeah. And then what if, and it totally does. That, or maybe the Hard Rock, maybe, or the Hooters one's the one. You're right.
Hooters, yeah. I can't even think of another one that it would. Maybe Circus, but Hooters definitely seems to fit. Hooters, ducks, owls. Sure, there's a connection there.
Do you think it'll spoil any of the? Oh, hold on. I realize you don't have your thing there, but we got a spoiler question coming up. We got to make a phone call. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make a quick phone call to Vince Gilligan. He was the show creator for Breaking Bad. He has the wherewithal to know what it means to have a spoiler. So hold on a second. Mr. Gilligan, thanks for your time. I know you're busy. You got a lot going on with Better Call Saul. I just wanted to ask you a quick question. When it comes to reality television and plot points or things that happen on that show, if there was a play about it and it revealed points from the show that you hadn't seen yet, even though it was like a year ago, is that a spoiler as compared to regular dramatic television?
Well, first of all, I've got to ask you, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay?
You're coming in through. You're coming in. We got you on Skype this time. You sound all right. You sound okay.
I'm on a cell phone this time. And I've almost forgotten my accent for a second there. I was actually trying to do my George Bush impersonation.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I mean, we miss him. As the office of presidency hasn't been the same really. So thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Well, so we're talking about the Duck Dynasty, the stage performance that they're going to be doing in Vegas.
That's the one. The Rio.
At the Rio. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd say that thing is spoiled before it even airs.
Well, that's why we asked the master, the spoil master. I mean, we knew you'd know, so we're not even going to bother with it. I guess is what you're telling us.
That's right. Yes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some deep fried chicken fried steak waiting for me here, smothered with some country gravy. What's that? What you want me to stick another head on the back of that turtle? Sure. Okay, I'll be right there. Hold on, sweetie. Just 1 second. Helping my daughter with a school project.
That's good. Well, between mint and juleps, may your life continue to be spoiler free. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our good friend. I mean, real true friend of the program, Vince Gilligan. He's just so nice to come on here and help us out with these hard questions. I really appreciate it. Brook Shields in the news.
Okay. She's been out of the news for such a long time. It's about time that she gets back.
Well, that one eyebrow, once in a while it needs to pop out. She says she's a lovely lady. Whatever. She's beautiful. I mean, they
call them landing strips now, Johnson.
Whoops. That one eyebrow. Nice. I like a lady with one eyebrow. She was a very big part of my life, quote unquote, says ex-actor. He's still trying to act. Ex-Dean Cain, who played the Superman, right?
Yes.
On Lois and Clark.
The Adventures of Lois and Clark. Yes.
That's right.
And Future Sport, the sport of the future.
Yeah, he's the kind of that lead in that there deal, and he was dating her, I guess, and the actress revealed in a book or something that she lost her virginity to him, to Superman himself.
Wow.
Yeah, he was he says he was honored to have a model running buck naked after they did the hoo-ha.
So his words are that he was honored to have her running.
Yeah, it's a little
naked?
weird. Well, so here's the deal. Brook Shields,
what's involved with having sex with Dean Cain? Is it on a treadmill?
It's a little odd, isn't it?
Is there a distance issue?
Brooke was a very big part of my life, and I'm honored to have been part of her life. Actor Dean Cain told Fox News in response to Brook Shields' dishing about her losing virginity to him when she was 22 in her new memoir, There Was a Little Girl. That sounds like a great memoir. Yeah. He was incredibly and painfully patient with me regarding sex, she wrote, according to People, the magazine, not People. Not just People. I made him wait, and my mom kept track. The pair met.
Wait. Did she?
It's weird, right? It's a little weird.
She kept track
her mom kept
how
track.
long she was keeping him waiting?
I guess. Oh, honey, now how many days has it been since you've let Superman wait? It's a weird thing.
Little dry erase calendar on the kitchen,
like a little
refrigerator
advent
door.
Yeah, like a little advent calendar.
Sure.
The pair met while they were both attending Princeton University. Shields wrote about how they were instantly crazy about each other. When they finally consummated their relationship, the Superman star held Shields flying high. What? Had Shields flying high. There you go. Quote, I actually kind of tumbled off the bed and started running, she recalls in her book. I was buck naked, streaking down the hallway and running like I had just stolen someone's wallet. Oh, the Hollywood set and their weird life.
No kidding. Hijinks going on.
Tracking
when she was 22, that would have been before Lois and Clark, right?
It would have been, and it would have been after. After Endless,
like the Blue Lagoon and Endless Love and all that stuff. Yeah,
all her early model work, all that stuff. Yeah, this would have been. Hold on, let me think. Yeah, definitely would have been before Lois and Clark.
Yeah, what was he doing before that?
Because she's like 50 or something. Here, let's find out. How old is Brooke Shields? She is 49 years old. Wow. She's gorgeous at 49.
Oh yeah, she's always looked really good. What and then what's the I'd pull it up here. I can pull it up here. I'm curious as to when. Well, let me look and see what Dean Cain was. What's Dean Cain doing? What was he doing before?
You know he's got talent. By the way, I just noticed here because Google tells you Christy Brinkley is 60 this year. Think of that.
Wow.
Uptown girl gets a better deal at Denny's now.
Okay, so prior to. Let's see. Prior to Lois and Clark, he was on A Different World. He was on Life Goes On for one episode.
All right.
He was on something called Charlie and the Talking Buzzard.
Oh yes, the classic that I never heard of. Yeah.
Oh, he was on Beverly Hills 90210 for a while as Rick.
Rick, that's great. You always need a Rick in a show like that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, 1993 is when Lois and Clark started. So. That has to be. I mean, they would have had to have met, in like the mid to late 80s.
Must have been.
She was 15 when she did Blue Lagoon, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, she was 12 or 13 when she did those jeans ads. She was super
That's right.
young.
Yeah.
Well,
all right then.
There you go. Congratulations to them, I suppose, for their weirdness and her mother being involved somehow. Weird. Boy George finally in the news. Before we take a quick break here, Boy George cancels his Culture Club tour.
Oh no.
It was called come to my show, 'cause we're freaking broke and no one cares anymore. Those are the new lyrics.
He tumbled right out of their contract.
Yep.
And they really want to hurt him now.
There you go. Boy George has pulled the plug on the Culture Club reunion tour. He announced this on Thursday, revealing that doctors discovered a polyp on his vocal cords.
Oh, jeez.
He's been trouble with his voice on and off for a few months, and his manager suggested they see a top throat doctor. The top throat doctor in Los Angeles, where you are. I've been advised by doctors that to continue singing with this polyp could further damage my voice and could cause irreparable damage. It's a risk I cannot take. To say I'm devastated barely touches how I feel, George, age 53, added. Wouldn't they call him boy? Whatever.
Well, not at age 53.
I guess not. I know
He's old man, George.
That's right. I know that those of you who love and support me will understand that this is a decision I just had to make. I will definitely get better and see you all soon and be back on tour, he told CBS News. So there you go. Finally, the update from Boy George you've been waiting for. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have board game man Dan Patrice. He's going to be here. It'll be great to see Dan. We haven't talked to him in a while. And that plus your questions, the Twitter questions, the Ask TMS questions. Ask TMS is the pound sign or the thing. So if you're listening live and you're like, oh, I forgot to do that, you can go still send one now and we'll watch for it. That's pound sign or hashtag Ask TMS. Brian will now give us music. What are we doing here?
That would be tic-tac-toe symbol, followed by Ask TMS.
You dumbass.
Dear Stocks and Bonds, remember the 15th of November because that's the day I was born. Well, it's the 13th, but close enough. And on this day, either on the TMS or TMSPM, Brian, I'd like you to play a cover of Heart's Barracuda, preferably not the Fergie Shrek version. Fergie Shrek. If that can't be done, any Heart cover will do. You continue to do impressions of Vince Gilligan and your fillings stay bonded to your teeth. Still love the show, though, Cable Man. Well, there you go, Cable Man. You even got one in this episode with your request.
Yep, nice work.
So he wanted any cover of Barracuda. Here's the one I decided to pick. I've actually got to pull this up in a different way because of the way this is set up on this computer. This is from a really cool album called Electrocuted, where they did like EDM versions, electronic dance music versions of a bunch of classic rock songs.
All right.
The band you're hearing right now is called Nervous, but it's spelled Nurvis.
Okay.
And this whole album is actually really good. It's Electrocuted, but it's spelled with a K, so 2Ks, so electrocuted. Just like that. That's actually how you pronounce it, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
This is Nervous and their cover of Heart's Barracuda.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. Stay tuned.
So this ain't the end. I saw you again today. Had to turn my heart away. Smile like the sun, kisses for everyone, and tales that never fail. You're lying so low in the weeds. I bet you're gonna ambush me. You keep me down, 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 down on my knees. Now wouldn't you, Barracuda? Uh-huh. Back over time, we were all trying for free. You met the porpoise in me. Uh-huh. No right, no wrong, selling a song. I need whisper game. And if the real thing don't do the trick, you better make up something quick. You're gonna burn, 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 burn to the wick. Ooh, Barracuda. Oh yeah. Sell you. The porpoise said, dive down, deep down to save my head. I think that you got the blues too. All that night and all the next sang without looking back. Made for the western fool. Silly, silly fool. Real thing don't do the trick. No, you better make up something quick. You're gonna burn, 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 burn it to the wick. Oh, Barracuda.
Oh, yeah, man. Barracuda, freaking Heart. Yeah. Woo. I like those guys.
Yeah, I do too.
Ladies, I guess. Not guys.
Well, whatever.
Whatever it takes. We're back.
A song about snakes in the record industry.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, they wrote that about like the AR signing guys and stuff like that.
I was unaware that that had anything to do with that. But what do I know about anything? I don't know nothing about nothing.
There you go. Well, now you know.
Now I know. All right. Hey, look at this. What time is it? It's this time. Oh, that familiar and wonderful music is a reminder that on the line with us now is one Dan Patrice. Dan, hello.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Dan, the
Dan?
board game man.
You sounded like my father-in-law for a little while there.
Oh yeah, at which point?
With the Vince Gilligan voice. Sounds like any one of my wife's relatives.
The poor things. Are they all from Tennessee / somewhere like
no,
that?
No, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Same thing.
And
who cares?
My father-in-law actually looks just like Uncle Si, so I have to.
Weird.
Think of that every time I see him.
Well, you
Nice.
you poor thing. Dan, it's been a while, man. How are you feeling since we last spoke? You doing good? Life's good for Dan Patrice?
Oh, life is excellent. We had the Gamers for Cures charity marathon last weekend, a 24-hour board game marathon for Turner Syndrome Society.
How'd that go?
Excellent. We raised over $17,000 for Turner Syndrome Society.
Great, dude. That's awesome.
It was amazing. I mean, it's every year we never think that we can beat the year before, and people just come through. It's just an amazing time.
That's wicked great. I'm excited for you. I don't know why I said wicked great. I feel am I from Wisconsin? What's happening to me?
So you guys, did you drop the con crud? Or you're back to normal now?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I got just so run down. Like I just spent myself in Anaheim in ways that I'm not used to, and so it took. I mean, for me, for the first time in a while, like I've been to that con 3 times, and it never did this to me before. I just felt like I was just needed like naps and things, and that's entirely possible. It's because I'm an old fart.
Well, you get excitement overdrive. It just saps everything out of you.
Yeah.
It's tough to. That's only so much condrenaline to go around.
True, but no confluence of con crud or any of that for us. Other than we both felt kind of crappy, and we just figured it's because we were tired. But no, like
and if it has 2 eyes again, you back to normal there.
Oh yeah. It really that's and that was something way before the con, but that's really been the only issue that I've had. I was fine after the con.
No issue. Were you worried at all? You were going to get like a little particulate in there from like some guy sneezing on you, and you were going to get worse in the eye or something?
No, I was never worried about that.
Oh, good. Because I was, and my eye is fine. It was.
Particulate in my eye was my original Bono cover band back then.
Hey, nicely done.
Very nicely done. I did. It was funny because I'd forgotten that the year before was the year that I was almost blind in my right eye because I hadn't had that surgery yet. And 2013 BlizzCon was kind of hard for me because I couldn't see anything. So all of the, live matches or any of the stage stuff, I was just kind of blind the whole time. Mm-hmm. And this year it was just like, oh yeah, last year sucked for that. This year I can see everything. This is like clear as a bell. And I didn't have to wear glasses to do like shows or like be around. It was great. So happy days for my eyes. Hopefully Brian's do not explode in pus one day.
Oh my God.
That's like my biggest fear is like, you go to the eye doctor and they're constantly saying, you're a perfect candidate for LASIK surgery. And I'm like, I could just wear contacts for the rest of my life and not have a fear of a laser beam blinding me for the rest of my life.
Exactly. Yeah. The only time, I was never a good LASIK candidate anyway, but even if I was, it's got to be things like what I had, which was, full-blown weird early genetic strange cataract surgeries for me to even consider it. Now that I've done it, and it wasn't laser anyway, but it's an invasive surgery in your eyeballs. I would recommend it so that people don't let yourselves go blind like a bunch of dummies. Like go get that taken care of because that's dumb to go blind. If you can help it, I mean. So, hey, check it out, Dan. Let's talk about board games. What have you brought with you this week? What's fun for people to play right now?
Well, ever since I started here, checking you guys out on TMSPM, I've been wanting to find something for Ibbot. Now, I know Ibbot's kind of a Vegas dude. He's got love of Vegas, which I share with you, my friend. Now, in the past, I'm not sure if you listened to some of the old Final Score days when I used to talk about a game called Las Vegas. It's a dice game that I actually got to play with Dunaway back at Nerdtacular this year. But I'm going to want to get into that one. So you can go back and look up Las Vegas, a great dice game. But the game I want to talk to you about is called Lords of Vegas. Ooh. I figured this was kind of more up your more up your alley because it's more of, talking about, building the casinos and really screwing other people by taking over their casinos and stuff like that.
Well,
so
that sounds right up my alley for sure.
yeah, I know that kind of feels that sounds a little weird because I'm like, yeah, when it comes to talking to Dunaway, yeah, we're just gonna roll some dice. But he feels like a guy that really wants to screw over everybody.
Exactly. Take the whole city by himself. That's Ibit for you.
So I put a nice little picture in there of kind of what the board ends up looking like. Now, what's pretty cool is you're on your turn, you're going to flip over a card, and it'll give you a lot on a strip. Now, the board itself has got a nice little depiction of the Vegas Strip, but they're all in these nice little squares. It's kind of like a little abstraction, but you've got the strip down the middle and all these squares where you can build casinos, but you get the lots first, and then as you gain more money, you'll be able to put little casinos on there, and then there's a number, a die, a number that you put your die on of your color. Now, as the rounds go on and people start spreading out, you could either take take the lots that you have and just kind of use the luck of the draw to spread your casinos out, or you can actually, what they call sprawl, you can actually move your own casinos over. Now, as you're spreading yourself out, you can come into contact with somebody else's casino. So now if you end up coming in contact, let's just say Scott built a green casino a little bit next to your silver casino, and then you move your silver casino over, then you can end up changing the color. Now, if you have higher dice pips, you can actually become the boss of Scott's casino when you change the color of that. So you can really kind of muscle in.
So you kind of acquire it like, and I see it looks like the strip, right? It looks like, oh, that's really cool.
And what's cool is that actually, even if somebody kind of muscles into you, you can actually pay on your turn to re-roll all the dice. Now, they'll still get the colors of their dice, but even if you have one die that you manage to roll higher than any of theirs, you become the boss of them. So then you'll be starting to get victory points in there. So the whole game is really kind of like an ebb and flow of where do you want to try and muscle in and where do you want to spread out and stuff like that. So as the game goes on, it really becomes really nice and cutthroat, and you're kind of watching both, you're watching your back, watching your side, because especially if you're playing 4 players, because you want to be watching what colors, because it's also kind of have a little stock market aspect to it, because there's a bunch of different cards of different colors, and you could see what cards come out, and it's a pretty known quantity of how many of each color. So as cards are coming out, you're getting points in those colors, so you may want to switch some of the colors just to try and ebb in some more of those points.
So in a lot of ways, if this was a video game, it'd be one of those tycoon video games, wouldn't it be?
That's pretty much. It'd be kind of like that. Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they've actually got an expansion, which actually I think it's come out this year. It actually will go. You get a second level. You can build up rather than out, which is really pretty funky.
Nice. How much is this game?
That's a good question. I want to say it's probably about $45, $40 to $50 game. It's by Mayfair Games, and it's by James Ernst and Mike Selinker. Great designers. Some of the guys that did the Pathfinder adventure card game, which was real popular last year.
Oh, right. That's why that name's familiar. Yep.
Yeah, Selinker does a ton. I mean, that guy he's a busy boy.
Selinker is his name?
Yep.
That's a cool name. Wonder where that comes from. Selinker. I like it. Selinker?
Selinker, the board game maker.
Oh, yeah, don't you know that's where he comes from. Anyway.
And what I didn't realize until last night when I was kind of looking up some of the stuff about the game just to brush up, there was actually a tabletop episode they did earlier this year on Lords of Vegas, which is actually a pretty cool watch. Oh, it's about 30 minutes, but gives you a good overview of the game, which is still pretty cool.
Will Wheaton's a gig over there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know if you guys have heard of the tabletop effect. It's pretty much.
I mean, I'm sure anytime he does anything, the game just blows up and sells like crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they tell the distributors that anytime you see that Will Wheaton's going to have it on his show, you better like triple your stock,
beef up your quantities. Yeah, that would make sense to me.
Now this isn't a real light game, but you can get people that may not be quite. Since it is so easy to learn, you don't necessarily have to be a heavy gamer, but it is going to take you probably, they say 60 minutes, but this is really about a 90-minute game plus. 2 to 4 players, 12 and up, probably about 90 minutes, I would say.
That's not bad. That's a thing you can do on a Saturday night, no problem.
Oh yeah, and it's not so thinky where you can't sit around BSing and having a few toddies while you're doing it.
Mint juleps.
No, you gotta be drinking really outrageously priced drinks out of giant plastic guitars and
that's right. A yard of beer.
Yeah, Brian knows. He knows the drill.
Exactly. Yes.
Dan, we're going to have you on next week too, because we're going to do a little pre-holiday thing. A lot of people getting together on Thanksgiving and then working towards Christmas, and lots of opportunities to played big family sort of tabletop
let you guys know what you can do with family that may or may not be gamers. You can because everyone's usually sitting around a table after you eat dessert going, all right, so what do you want to do? And instead of getting out LCR, which is one of the worst games ever made, the little dice game, I've got a few things that you can
that's a staple in Wisconsin, man.
LCR, what does it stand for?
Left, center, right.
Yep.
Oh, I don't think I've ever played it. I'm glad now suddenly.
Last year I was at Thanksgiving back up in New York, and they had a set of LCR, and all the kids had a couple of dollars that the parents had given them, and it was a bunch of my aunts and uncles sitting around, and all they're doing is sitting there rolling dice, going around a table, and my heart was just crushed. It was on the floor. I was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, you can't even. You barely want to be there to support these people in their horrible, debaucherous behavior.
So I'll have some options that you can get a hold of pretty easy, and some great things that you can teach to even Aunt Flo.
All right, nice. It's give the Vegas game one more name drop here so people.
It's called Lords of Vegas.
Lords of Vegas.
Lords of Vegas. You can find it anywhere. Amazon, Cool Stuff Inc. You can probably get it nice and cheap. Great game.
Starring Al Pacino and Harry Connick Jr. Coming soon to a theater. Lords of Vegas. It sounds like a movie to me. There you go, everybody. Dan Patrice. He is Geek Jock Blog on Twitter. Follow him. Lots of goings on, things happening. You can kind of keep track of that dude right there. Thanks, Dan, for hanging out with us, dude.
Appreciate it, guys. Hey, be well, and I'll talk to you next week.
See you, man.
Bye. See ya.
I like that, Dan Patrice.
Very cool. I'm totally checking this out. Lords of Vegas, man.
It's good stuff.
Yes. It's got a very Indiana Jones feel on the box.
I'm with you on that. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some Twitter time. And it's actually supported by something. Let's do that. Twitter time brought to you by.
Interested in getting a free sci-fi book? The Life Engineered, a book about robots and post-singularity life in the far future sounds interesting to you? Not sure you'll remember when it comes out for free on Amazon? Follow at JF Dubow to stay up to date, or go to jfdubow.com/books for more info. That's JFDU.com.
And you can always follow me on Twitter.
Tweet. Want to go bird hunting this weekend?
We got Twitter questions asked by you that we're going to answer here in the next 15 or so minutes, and we really appreciate it when you guys send these in. We got a question from, I think we've answered it, but Gary Fisher, good old pal of the show, Gary Fisher.
The land guru.
That we just saw in Anaheim.
We did, yeah.
Says, how's your eye, Brian? How's your eye?
It's good. There's still a tiny little bit of a mass in there, but I've been really good about doing the hot compress, so it's getting better and better. It's going to be totally fine, and I'm going to be able to do this without any surgery. So
nice.
That is a big plus.
Yes. Nate asks, is there a story behind Jury's theme? I'll play it so people can hear it. It's this.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
It is just a mashup of stuff I threw together, but that middle bit is Jury singing the Dude Boodle Dee version of
Rolling in the Deep by Adele.
Adele
Zazine.
So search for it on YouTube if you've never seen it. It's a real treat, and I recommend it. Thank you, Nate, for that question. Salted Snake says, Frog Pants, the movie. What actors or actresses play the Frog Pants team? Let's keep it to just let's say the core TMS. Let's say Brian, and Daryl, and we'll worry about everybody else later.
Who's the other Brian? Brian, and Daryl.
Or what? I'm sorry. You know what I did there?
Scott, Brian, and Daryl.
You know what I did? It was supposed to be Scott, Brian, and Daryl, but the two Daryl thing from the Newhart show.
My other brother Daryl.
Yeah, that made me say Brian twice. Why didn't it make me say Daryl twice? I don't know, but that's really weird. Anyway,
really
let's cast us real quick. You are Michael Chiklis if I'm going to pick, and then I want you to pick.
Wow, that's exactly who I was going to say if I had to pick myself. Yes.
He'd be great as you. So Michael Chiklis is you. I think I would probably go with a younger, obviously, but I would probably go Judge Reinhold. Be a good me.
Yep, very good.
And for Daryl, I think I'm giving it to Tom Skerritt, but you got to shave his head.
Wow.
And his mustache. Oh, no. You know what? Toblowski.
Stephen Toblowski with a beard, with a big shaggy beard.
Yeah, I'd have to play it differently, It had to be a different kind of.
I sure as heck got that Star Trek question right. Ding again.
Darn it. Yeah, he'd be great. Do you have how would you cast it?
Michael Chiklis. I love the Judge Reinhold. I can never think of any actors to pick for you because we've had a question similar to this before, and I can't think of who.
Who's the guy from the Bourne movies that's kind of bad now, but started as like one of the CIA handler guys? He was also he played Edward R. Murrow in the Good Night and Good Luck.
Oh, Strathairn?
David Strathairn.
Strathairn.
He looks a lot like me in some lights, so he might be able to do it. I don't know. I'm a hard call. The chat room's bound to have something by now.
I could kind of see that. Steve Buscemi, Paul Giamatti. Who are you guys picking for these people?
Good Lord. I don't... Steve, that's terrible.
I am sci-fi says Tom Skerritt is Tom Merritt, obviously.
Well, that's not bad. Yeah, if we're doing the whole week and everybody, I mean, Jury is Charlie Day, no question. Just put a beard on Charlie Day, done. Yeah, ask Tom Cruise. No, I don't have a middle tooth in my head. Let's see. Next question. We got. Let's see. Please play the Squarini clip for us again. Says a little vinyl. All right. Here you go. Let me play that for you. Hold on. Here we go.
Squarini.
It's been a while, so there it is.
It has. That's taking Ask TMS, just like literally, like ask us to play something. Okay, sure.
Have we experienced payment declines from our obsolete cards in our Patreon? Asked David Pick. Yes, the answer is yes. There's always a few $100s worth of people whose cards are out or whatever, and it's not like oh, you dead beats with your bad cards. That just happens. Sometimes people's cards expire. It's no big deal.
Exactly. I had a card change over when the whole what was that Home Depot thing, because I used that card to buy something at Home Depot, and then they automatically, like Chase automatically sent me a new card and closed the old one. So I'm finding all of these things that I regularly supported and bought that are all of a sudden saying, hey, this card don't work no more.
Yeah, this card don't work no more.
You go fix it.
Fix that damn card. All right, here's a question. This is a good one. Marcus Paquette is a Q, so I don't know. Paquette says, would you prefer never having to pay for music ever again, including concerts, or videos, including TV and movies? Which do you prefer?
Music for me.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't mind paying subscription money or movie ticket money or whatever for movies and television. I don't know why.
No,
it's not a problem for me, but music it feels so consumptive now that it feels like music would be really cool for. Now, this is not me saying, man, I sure wish artists would get not paid for their work.
Actually, yeah, and let me rethink this, because I actually am going to flip it, because so much of the music I buy these days is direct from labels or artists and like SoundCloud and Bandcamp and all this stuff, that I'd feel bad that these artists wouldn't get their money. I actually will switch it, because when you pay for TV and for film, so much of that goes to the cable company and to the to people who aren't directly responsible for that piece of creativity.
Yep.
So I'm going to flip that and say, no, the other way.
Yeah, take that.
Especially because cable rates are the cable is too damn high.
It's too expensive. I'm not paying that. Back in my day, guy would get on a stage, he'd whip out his penis, and we'd all laugh. We'd laugh and clap.
We'd pay 2 bits to see that.
Yeah, it was fine. A girl would come around and give you a nice whiskey, and then you'd go home and you'd watch the picture show on your television. You bastard.
How about this one? This one from Mari K Prime. He says, is now a good time to start playing World of Warcraft for the first time? I think it's never been a better time to start, because the boost to 90 makes it so if all you want to do is get in with friends and start right away and get into the new content, they've made a way for you to do that, and that's free to do that in the account.
Totally.
You can just jump straight to 90 and do the new content. That's where everyone is starting with new content. You're just off to the races, and that story and this initial stuff. And by the way, I haven't told you this. I talked about it on my Boop show today. Boop! I am reading every quest all the way through.
You did tell me about that.
Did I tell you about that? Yeah.
Yeah, you did tell me about
That's
that.
my goal. All of it.
Interesting. So, well, I'm definitely doing the same thing. I think I did that with some expansions, and then kind of did fall off the wagon and just say, "Oh, click accept." All right, just let me go kill 8 boars and get you their skins for
Pete's
sake.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, getting the boost to 90 right now for a brand new player, and then still having the opportunity to say, well, I want to try some of these other characters. I'll start those at 1 because it's all brand new content to them.
Yeah, to them, yeah, you'd just be fun to solo through some of that stuff and just experience that world leading up to it. I mean, it really is a great time to get in.
Yeah,
maybe more than ever. So it's funny how it should be harder than ever. They've made it easier than ever. They're kind of geniuses that way.
And this hotel Wi-Fi is going to be damn good for me trying it out and finally getting some of that stuff done.
Right on, brother. All right, how about this one? Do either of you remember the old D&D style game Sierra Online made back in the day? I think he means games because he didn't mention a game.
King's Quest. I remember playing the heck out of King's Quest 5.
Yeah, he says there's some D&D game, the Sierra Online. I don't know the name of it, but I kind of remember it. It was kind of a dungeon crawler thing. I remember Sierra being rad. I mean, don't forget, the first Half-Life game was published by Sierra Online. Crazy, right?
Wow, that is crazy. I didn't know that.
Yep. Well, long before Valve became as big as Valve became, they published that. They published the first retail version of Counter-Strike. Like, yeah, they were all into that back in the day.
Wow.
Let's see. Oh yeah, well, Roger Bishop, I think we just answered your question. He says race to 100 or soak in the story. I am totally soaking in the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, we've got a raid. You know, the FERT raid folks are also all into that. We're in no hurry to get a server first raid kill on any of the bosses.
Nope.
They're like, we'll take our time. We'll get up to 100 as soon as we're all ready. We'll go back into the raids and on our regular raid nights, if people want to pop into Mumble and chat while they're doing that or do a dungeon, whatever.
Yep.
So I'm excited about that.
Me too. This guy asks, this is George McKay, says, how the hell do you draw a comic, or how do you draw on a Cintiq? Coloring I can do, but sketching, nope. Any tips? Yeah, I got a couple tips for you. So that was hard for me at first as well. You get used to it, but generally this is my suggestion. You buy some extra nibs, although your Cintiq should have come with some of these, but you can get the kind of felt tip nibs. They're kind of have more drag to them, and they simulate pencil to paper. That's the feeling of them. They have more drag, more resistance. They wear down a little quicker, but they're worth it if you want to recreate that drag. That, and I have a cover on mine that also adds to that drag sensation, so it feels like paper to me. So
yeah, that is key though, because if you feel like you're drawing with a rock on a piece of glass, it's not going to feel natural.
That
at
is
all.
a really good comparison. That's how it kind of felt in the beginning. It was like a rock on glass, like a slippery. It's a really weird sensation, but if you can get the right nibs, they have a ton of them available. They're inexpensive. They swap in and out real easy. You'll find something to your liking. They're at wacom.com. They're not advertising on the show. I just really like them. We'll do I'll do one last question. Well, two more here. This one from Guess Who says, is World of Warcraft your first MMO for both of us? For me, no. It was officially it was EverQuest, but I barely dabbled. The first real MMO for me that was like a big fleshed out experience where I leveled all the way and did all the content and everything was Dark Age of Camelot and its first expansion. Then it was, so I went from Dark Age, oh wait, that may not be true. Sorry, Anarchy Online was first for me. Then Dark Age of Camelot. That was the order.
Wow.
Then, is there another one in between there? That may have been it. And then WoW. WoW was my next big one. And then I've played most since, but yeah.
Yeah, it was the first one for me. I actually came by it kind of via the instance. Started listening to the instance because of Len Peralta. Yeah. But first Blizzard game was actually StarCraft. My wife had a pen pal, or has a pen pal in Australia named Jenny, and her husband is a guy named Dean. We went down there in October 2011, a month after the 9/11 attacks. And got down there and God, is it? I'm sorry, 2001. I'm thinking 9/11. It's like, couldn't have been 2011. I've been doing this longer than that.
Yeah, 2001. There you go.
Yeah, October 2001. And Dean's like, oh, you got to play this. And I'm not going to do the Australian accent. You got to play the StarCraft game. And he had two computers set up so that we could actually play cooperative or play against each other. And learned the whole resource gathering and all that stuff, and then got back home and immediately bought a copy of that and the expansion, and then bought Warcraft 3 and was like, oh, this is even better. So when I heard about there being an MMO, I was thinking, well, crap, I don't want to play that. I don't want a bunch of people coming in and taking my gold mine and chopping down my trees for my resources. This is gonna suck. I totally don't want to play that game.
Yeah, it's on paper that must have sounded real weird.
It totally did.
Yeah.
Because I never actually saw gameplay of WoW before I
That's
started hearing about it.
Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, it's I mean, it's the best MMO ever made, in my opinion. And so I've played a lot of them, many before, tons since, and none of them have stacked up. It's just Blizzard knows what the hell they're doing.
What if any of them were close, like taking in like Star Trek Online and Rift and Star Wars, like what?
They all had good stuff to them. I mean, there was a lot to like about the early goings of Star Wars. That game kind of lost it for me later on, but I thought Rift was pretty good. Mm-hmm. If I had to pick one, though, that really made an impression on me and made me think that, wow, this game could be... They could go as far as WoW does if they had the money and the willingness and a publisher willing to stick it out and not just fire everybody the minute it didn't make $1 trillion. Basically behave like Blizzard. WildStar, I think, had the most potential.
I never tried WildStar.
It's still, I mean, it's still newish. Came out, like January or something? Or no? Mm-hmm. I don't remember now, but it was this year, and they've already laid off like tons of people, and it's already consolidating servers, and they're already, it's already doing that thing they all do, which is, we thought we could be WoW, but now we're not, so we just suck. If they just stuck it out and would use the culture of Blizzard in their own companies, that's a game that could go the distance. I really think it could. But they just don't, I don't know. They don't have the wherewithal. The reason I don't play it is because I don't trust that they'll stick it out.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing. I mean, you want something that is going to last. Mm-hmm. I had high hopes that I was going to enjoy Secret World just from the descriptions and the screenshots. Yeah. And that came at a time that I think, Mists of Pandaria, I think, came out around the same time. And I think it was just a time issue. I couldn't do both.
And it's such a cool concept, but once again, and that's the Anarchy Online people. It's Funcom. They know how to make MMOs, but no one ever has been able to they just don't have I don't know what they don't have. They don't have whatever it is Blizzard has that everyone wishes they have, and they just aren't willing to do what it takes to have it.
Well, it's the longevity. I mean, it's the fact that people have been in this world for a long time, and these guys have been doing it for a long time, so they know what works, they know what things to add and what things to take away. So for a newcomer to come in, they've got to have some new aspect that people say, oh, that is way better than World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. And they've got to have something that is immersive from the get-go, or else people are going to say, I get a much more immersive experience from WoW.
Yep, plus all my friends are there. But even like in 2004 when it launched, everybody thought, oh, well, EverQuest is too well established. Another game can't come in here and do this. It's just Blizzard sauce, man. It's something in their sauce. It's in the sauce.
It's in the sauce. It's a good sauce.
This stuff's made in Irvine, California. Irvine, California. Get a rope. That's it for your Twitter questions. Keep those coming. That's hashtag AskTMS all week. We like to read them on Thursday evenings, and that's what we do. So thanks for being here for that. It's going to do it for us. Frogpants.com/TMS is our website. Email us, themorningstream@gmail.com. On Twitter, Brian's at Coverville. I'm at Scott Johnson. The show is at Morning Stream. And there's plenty more happening this weekend. Got a brand new instance tomorrow. Speaking of the new expansion, we'll talk the hell out of that thing tomorrow with Patrick. New co-host Patrick will be there along with all the rest of us. And that's all I can think of right now. Brian.
Yes.
I'm glad we could do this from LA. I'm super happy the internet held up and everything went well.
Me too. I'm impressed with this hotel's Wi-Fi. If you ever get the chance, if you're staying at LAX and you want a hotel that is literally a block away from LAX, you can't go wrong with the concourse. I'll just tell you that right now.
All right. Well, I'm all in. Let's take him out with another bit of song right now. What do you got for me for the second one?
Okay. Well, I've got another sad story to tell you here.
Oh man, we get so many of these now.
There have been so many this week, and I, a lot of them come in, and a lot more sometimes than I can even get to come in. I get so many requests, people, and it's something that is I've got to pick and choose, and so I apologize if you did send in a request and it got missed, but here's this one. Right. Just to kind of spin it back here.
Okay.
Hello. Many years ago, my buddy Gordon got me into WoW. I'll kind of continue our last discussion. I got him into podcasts. He then got me into the instance. He then tried to get me to listen to ELR. I was hesitant, but I started at ELR, got hooked, then moved along to the spectrum of Frog Pants when that got started up. This November marks the 5 years since his passing in a car accident. In his honor, could you play something related to his namesake? His name was Gordon Robinson, named after Sting. Thank you very much. Signed, scroll over because I'm on a little tiny screen, Eric. So really struggled with a song to pick by Sting because I think Fields of Gold would be too much, right?
A little too hard. Yeah, probably.
A little too heavy.
Sure.
So I decided to go with something a little bit more light, a little bit more upbeat, and I really like this version right here of the song "Love Is the Seventh Wave." This is from Sting's first album, his first solo album, I should say. Nothing Like the Sun.
All right.
This is such a great song too. This is the Ducks, Duhks,
right.
from their album "Falling in Love with Folk." Folk music came out. I don't know the year it came out because I can't see that on my screen, but you can go find it. The Ducks and their cover of Sting's "Love Is the Seventh Wave."
All right. Well, let's play it. Brian, have a fantastic trip.
Thank you, sir, and I will see you on Monday.
Yeah. When do you come home? You get home Sunday? Is when you come home?
Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Yeah, in time for the Walking Dead.
So basically the same trip you took last week, 2 in a row. Crazy.
Kind of, except I came back on Monday last week. So this would be nice that I actually get home a little bit earlier this time.
Well, speaking of which, we'll be here Monday with a brand new show. Be here with us then. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, live chat room. Thank you, everybody who listens to the show. And thank you for those who have supported us on Patreon at patreon.com/TMS. We'll see you next